The Varial Kickflip. This trick is a combination of a kickflip and a pop shove-it. The board turns 180 degrees while also doing a full flip. A varial flip is still considered relatively basic and should probably be learned sometime after kickflips. Some tricks that you should probably have down before trying a varial flip are ollies, pop shove-its, and kickflips. So the main parts to this trick are the pop and scoop, the flick, and the landing. The foot positioning for this trick is pretty much what you would expect. Your back foot is kind of in the pop shove-it position and your front foot is set up sort of like a kickflip. You want your back foot to be pretty much in the center of the tail, but just a tiny bit towards your toe side pocket so you can get that scoop to make the board rotate 180 degrees. And as for your front foot, you pretty much can put it wherever you're comfortable doing kickflips. While rolling, my positioning looks pretty much like this. And here's for the goofy riders. So as I mentioned before, this trick is just a combination between a kickflip and a pop shove-it. I've already made how-to videos for both of those tricks, so I would highly recommend that you go and watch those first before continuing with this video. The reason I say that is because in those videos, I try to break down the fundamentals of scooping the board 180 with your back foot in the pop shove-it and flicking with your front foot in the kickflip. These are two motions you're definitely going to want to practice a lot before trying this trick. So the first step I would say is to just practice scooping the board with your back foot. Make sure that you can get it to turn 180, just like a shove-it. And pretty much just be comfortable with this motion. And separate from that, practice just flicking with your front foot like you would for a kickflip. Don't worry about adding the back foot shove-it yet. Just make sure that you have this motion nice and down. So if you have both of these steps down, the obvious next step would be to combine them. But there's the main problem that I see when people try this trick, and that is that they turn their body 90 degrees front side and they tend to kick the board out away from them. You happen to see this with a lot of tricks when people are first learning them, and I think it's more of a confidence thing than it is skill. It's scary when you're first learning a trick to try and keep it underneath you because you don't know how the board's going to end up and if you'll slip out or land primo. And this is why if you do have that back foot scoop for the shove-it and the front foot flick for the kickflip, then all you have to do is start practicing on staying over the board and feeling confident. Like with most tricks, the main way to start building that confidence is to try the trick while just landing with one foot. Really focus and make sure that you're not turning your shoulders outward at all, and that way your board won't be flying the opposite direction from you. Try to stay conservative with your pop and your flick, and try to keep your shoulders kind of leaned over your board, and that way it'll stay underneath you and centered rather than shooting out away from you. A lot of tricks tend to put more focus on one foot or the other when you're doing the trick, but this is one of the few where I feel like it's equally as important to use your back foot as your front foot. You're going to have to pop off your back foot and give it that slight shove-it motion so that the board starts to rotate. And while you're doing that, almost just like a kickflip, your front foot slides up and flicks off the edge of the board. Remember to keep your body weight and your shoulders leaned forward over the board, and that way you stay centered. And also make sure that you're giving the board enough flick so that it's going to get a full rotation. If you notice that the board is over-rotating and doing more than a 180-degree spin, it may be because you're putting your foot too far into the pocket and giving it too much scoop. So you might just want to move your foot a little further back to a regular ollie position or pop shove-it position. And if it's not rotating enough, just do the opposite and slightly move it towards that pocket. Once you have your pop shove-its and your kickflips really down, this is one of those tricks that shouldn't be too hard to pick up right afterwards because it's really just a combination of the other two. So here are a few of my varial flips. I'd say just keep in mind what a varial flip actually is. It's just a pop shove-it and a kickflip combined. So watch my feet and see how I'm shoving with my back foot, flicking with my front foot, and landing. Just practice and have confidence and you will get this trick. So like always, thank you for watching. If you need any further help, just leave a comment below and I'll try and get back to you. And besides that, you can like and subscribe if you want.